Alright, so this will be for any percent, which is the category I'm running. There are a few other categories that I've started up. There's Moon percent, 100%. New Game Plus changes a lot of the mechanics because you don't have to get points. But for now, we're just going to do some classic any percent. Hello, Milk Dust. That's a funny emote. I'm a big fan of that one. So, New Game Plus, you run with these other characters. Not really much to say about this. You start on first cut. It's the only place that's available. Immediately out the gate, the first thing that you need to know about Dark Summit is the point system. As you can see in the top right, there's going to be lift points and equipment points. Lift points are the red ones. Equipment points are the yellow ones. Lift points you get by doing challenges, which the speedrun is based around. You get them by going through those gates and stuff. And they are what allows you to progress up the mountain, which is how you beat the game, basically. And then equipment points are what you get by doing tricks. They're the yellow ones. They allow you to unlock cosmetics, and for the speed run, they're important because they allow you to unlock different boards. And the different boards will allow you to go faster. They give you more airtime. In the speed run, any percent right now, the route only gets you up to 1,000,000 points, which unlocks the third board. The fourth board is faster, but it also gives you a lot of extra airtime, which is not. You're slower in the air generally than you are on the ground. So we tend to actually skip the fourth board right now. But as far as tricks go, you can unlock different ones throughout the game. But our mainstay, in terms of the fastest trick you can get 4 points, is the backflip 180 tail grab. So that's AYB. So you'll be spamming that a lot on the early part of the run. Coming up here is the first rail that I like to do tricks off of. And basically, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to jump onto this rail. It's pressing A. And then you grind onto a rail with Y. And you want to do a trick off of it because you're increasing your combo meter. In Dark Summit, all combos are based off of rails. You can only advance your combo meter by grinding on a rail. And a really easy way to do that is to just spam multiple grinds on a rail. You'll be seeing me doing that a lot, where I'll just be on one rail and I'll just be hopping off and then pressing Y to jump back on it again. And it'll tack up your combo meter a lot. It adds a multiplicative effect to it, so that any tricks you do, you'll see me racking up like 60,000 point combos, and those are really important. Yeah, it's the story is pretty sad, or not sad, but like it's very edgy. I will say that much, that the story is very edgy, but unfortunately Moon percent or any percent kind of skips it. Moon percent you go into fucking space and shit. You're like on the moon doing tricks. You have to destroy like robot cows. It's really goofy, but it is kind of like that classic 2000s edgy kind of deal. Um, so yeah, this starting part you're gonna be running through it a lot, so you'll be able to get your tricks off. You see there 6 times combo pretty fast. I was able to even do that. I've been able to do that like 7 times combo before on that rail. Just spamming as many grinds as possible, just tapping Y to get on and off the rail, and mashing up your combo meter to get a ton of points. So on this first split on Outhouse, we're gonna skip these. We're skipping this first gate because these are done in later splits. We're saving the fastest, the closest gate from the start for the later splits because we want to go through the rest of first cut and just get all the missions that we can to get as many lift points as possible. And also just having a lot of room to do tricks and getting up to second board, which is at 500,000 points. But we will not be skipping this first mission and it is called is the Goo Gap mission. So this one gives you 40,000 lift points, and throughout first cut you'll be seeing a lot of these gaps that have this weird acid in them, and you have to jump over 5 of them. And there are a lot of different ones. But the route we do goes on the left side over here, and you'll be doing tricks all throughout this. Like here specifically is a big rail one where you can do a backflip 180 tail grab, and then tap the rail twice and then do another one, and that's a quick 25,000. You can add a lot more to that. This gap up here doesn't have the goo in it, but it still counts as a gap. So you can do a back 80, flip 180 tail grab off that, get 2 flips in, quick 10,000. And up here is actually one of the only tricks that we collect in the run, and it's because it is high kick, which is AXB, and in terms of speed to point ratio, it is probably the best that you can get without going too far off of like the beaten path, because you get, I believe it's 6,500 points for it, and it's pretty fast, and very spammable. 6,000, okay. But usually you'll be able to do like a grab or something. Specifically, yeah, like if you press X in the air and then you rotate your control stick, you'll do a grab, which adds more points. And I think all of these have the same amount of points, and then the indie grab is less, and flipping and stuff like that. It's all decently intuitive. What is this dolphin emote? Hype, cool. Let's go, Twitch hype train. Alright, so you can see I'm skipping some of these gaps. They aren't important, and they're too far out of the way. If you miss a gap on the route, you can go to the right here, and there'll be this one over here that you can jump over. I personally skip this one because it's really, like, it's very high up and it goes a little bit out of the way, but it is kind of a safety in case you mess up any of these jumps earlier. Just doing high kick front flips with a nose grab. That's an easy 12,000 points over and over again. You hit 5 of these, and mission done. You get your lift points. This is the last one you want to jump over usually. If you're doing like optimal runs, the last one you jump over is the last one available. Otherwise, the mission fails out, and that's usually just pretty much a hard reset. Actually, you can reset the mission, but here's a good example of board tapping. You're just spamming on that rail, and if I was able to connect over to that other rail, then I would have been able to get like 25,000 points. Taking out this Mountain Shadow organization. Now go find that first bomb. So there are 5 bombs in the game, and this is the first one that we do on Outhouse. It's not a specific split; it's just inside of it because it's already on the route. You'll follow behind these characters. Usually we kind of just skip past them, but because we're on first board, we can't really fly past Tai. So it's kind of important to kind of slow down and go behind her. Otherwise you might bump into her. Grab that rail, do a rail combo here. That combo is very finicky because if you land on that big yellow rail at a certain angle, sometimes you'll just fly right off when you try to jump, and it's very finicky. But if you can hit the combo, then it's a big, like, easy 60,000. I could have made the combo go even longer there, but as you can see, 211,000 points already. We're about halfway to what we want at the end of this split. Our next mission will be coming up here. This is called Groomer Gap. So you're going to jump up here, tap, tap, do another flip, and not just for moving snow. This one's pretty simple. You're just going to jump over this piece of machinery that's at the end of the run. But what a Groomer Gap is important for is this rail to the left, as you can see behind. It's with the speed you're going at here, you can get a massive combo off of it. You can combo up into 7 times and then do a hive kick with a front flip. And if I didn't wipe that like an idiot, that probably would have been like a good 60,000 points. So around a Groomer Gap, you want to have around 300,000 points is a good method. And then to actually get to the mission, you just go left here, jump over this gap, and bing.
Keep that same focus later when you see these machines working on the half pipe. What are they working on there anyway?
All right, so as you can see, there's 2 of these gates. There's one kind of over here that it seems like it would be more obvious to grab, and then there's this one on the back. We don't go for this one because it involves getting 5 grinds on a rail, and there just aren't a lot of rails over here. Compared to the other mission, it's a lot slower to do, and I don't even think the lift points are that good comparatively. So instead, we're going to go over to the right. And we are going to hit up this mission. Grab some air.
Time for more training. Do all 9 grabs and you'll be ready for your next recital and for more lift points.
So, as it says, this one involves doing all 9 grabs. What I like to do is jump off this right ramp and do 2 of the grabs here with 360s just to combo them and do more points. But essentially, this is just doing all of these: mute grab, crail grab, nose grab, Leon grab, method grab, iguana grab, tail grab, melon grab, indie grab. So if you're good at it, you can do it all in really one fast sequence: bottom left, or bottom right, top left, top right, just holding X, back, forward, and you're pretty much done. So you can see how much faster that would be than trying to grind on 5 different rails. Jumping through here. Obviously, we're a little bit behind on points, but that's not a big deal. Right here is a pretty important rail in terms of comboing. This is one of the last rails that you can combo off of in Outhouse unless you go a specific route for the next mission. And you're just going to go up here on the right side of the rail, or right side of the arrow, get a quick 5, 6x combo, quick 37,000 points. And then our next objective, we're going to grind on this rail. What I'm doing right now specifically is, well, actually, that's the most board taps I've ever gotten. That's not supposed to happen. But what I'm specifically doing is something called a, what do they call it in this game? Okay, yeah, they call it a tweak. For really long rails, especially ones where you aren't allowed to tap, because if I jump off the rail, I'm flying down to my death, right? Like the angle and the speed you're going at is just way too much to tap that rail consistently, and if you miss that, it's just a complete reset. So what I'm doing instead is I'm just tweaking and spinning around on the rail to get a little more, a few more points while I'm on it, basically. Because we have to go over here and we go to On the Runs, which is the last mission in Outhouse.
Chocolate bar Hans gave you? It may have been a bar, but it sure wasn't chocolate. To unload some of what's to come, you need to find an outhouse. Fast.
Funny enough, Hans is a character that the speedrun entirely skips. He's in like a few cutscenes. He's supposed to be like some asshole that you are messing with, and he messes with you by giving you a chocolate bar. But as you can already see, there's 2 routes for this. There's a top side and the bottom side, and the top side is generally faster, but it has less trick opportunities. The bottom side is quite a bit slower, but there are 3 big rails that you can go along that give you just a ton of points. I'm actually going to demo both of them. So we need a lot more points right now, theoretically. So we're going to go to the bottom side. Up here on this ramp, you have enough space to get in 2 high kicks with flips between them. And that's a cool, like, 16,000. Yeah, 16,000 points. and then another ramp you can jump off of, do another high kick, get a flip in, and then there's these big 3 rails that you can just grind on forever. You get a massive combo. You want to align yourself on the right side of these rails because it'll allow you to hop off them much more consistently. I just fucked up at the end, but that is the bottom side route, and mostly you would want to go there for that big combo on the rails. You can get like 60,000 points there if you do it properly. It's definitely a big boost, especially if you're hurting for points at the end of Outhouse. Alternatively, there is the top side route, which this ramp is notoriously a pain in the ass to deal with. The angle you jump at is very, very unintuitive, and it will just... Sometimes you'll just wipe. So I'm always hesitant to do any tricks while I'm on this one. Wow, this is really bad. I've never... Funny annotated run. Oops. And also the trick there is not important at all. Yeah, this game is very bad. Right, like it looks like it should land sometimes, and then it just doesn't. How do I keep fucking... Oh, I know why. I know why. It's because we're restarting the mission and we don't have the speed that we had through the gate earlier. This might actually be impossible. Because you keep your speed when you go through the gates, but because I'm restarting the mission, I don't have enough speed. So I might actually... This might be impossible to show off. Oops. Yeah. This might be impossible. Oopsie daisy. Gotta restart the annotated run, guys. Gotta redo it. Reset. Yeah, might be impossible. Please just land so I can continue my... Please land so I can continue my annotated run. I'm gonna try one more time, and then if we don't get there, then I'm just gonna move on, I guess. It's not that important. It's just a different route. There's nothing like crazy up here or anything. Yeah, that's not gonna let me. Either way, both of the routes spit you out and around the same spot. I'm not gonna do tricks over here to make my points. Well, we're behind on points anyway, because I keep missing shit. So this is not part of the run. This is just me getting points back to try and get up to a more reasonable points number. Perhaps this will be a better rail grind. Yeah, it's pretty hard to actually tap onto the rail with the angle that it leaves you at, but if you can see if you actually land on the left side, then you're able to do a lot faster grinds. And what we're going for is just past the sign. Technically you're supposed to go to the yellow outhouse, but there's just like a mission clear thing across the entire snowboard, or the entire path. So that's our first split. I think I just did. I just Okay, no. So that's our first split. Having 500,000 points is like the goal here, but really, as long as you get second board by this split, AYA, AYB, ABA, AXA, it's fine. You don't really need the extra speed from the second board until that split. There's a strat that we do that pretty much requires second board. So as long as you're getting enough points through the next couple splits, you should be fine. And we haven't unlocked anything else, so we go back to first cut for our next mission, which is 540s. But before that, we have to deal with these guys. And if you fail this mission, it's not like a reset or anything. they will just spawn back in the next time you go back to first cut. But basically, we just have to drive past these guys, and they're kind of annoying because it makes it you really only get to do like one or two tricks before they start catching up to you, like this. Like you see, I'm cutting it very close with these two tricks. So usually you do two tricks and then just kind of just hold forward until you get past the point where they just kind of give up. But anyway, now we're gonna go back to the gate that we skipped the first time, and
Start proving your skills. Sure, it's just training for now. Do 6.540s and earn some lift points.
you heard the man. Do 6.540s. As it says, you just rotate by holding the left or right direction, and it's faster to do rotates while holding a grab. Like I'm gonna try to do off this ramp. I'm just gonna hold left and right. You can see there's a lot of delay before you actually start doing the 540. But if I grab, I can almost immediately start rotating. So you just do 6. You can kind of jump off of any architecture where you have enough. This is personally the route that I do. If you hit that first one, then this is the last one you do. If you have to do an extra, then there's a ramp right here. If you have to do an extra, there's another ramp right there. It's pretty intuitive. So you do those 540s, and immediately after that, you want to go back to chairlifts because the same gate that we went through has multiple missions. Not all mission gates in Dark Summit have multiple missions, but you will pretty often be restarting as soon as you finish a mission and then going back to the same part. So you'll get pretty good at doing like this trick, double grind. Sometimes you can fit in uh, a special trick at the end there, a 7x combo off that rail. You can either jump off of this ramp or go down this left side to save a little bit of time. If you're not especially hurting for points, tap this, do another trick in between, 7x combo. I wish I had an input display, but unfortunately M overlay does not work with Dark Summit. So we're going to go to the second mission in this gate.
Do 5 flip tricks to earn fast points. Learn them well.
So yeah, we're just going to do 5 flips, and as you can see again, you just flip by holding down forward or backward in the air. Again, this is something that is faster if you do a grab beforehand, so you can see I'm doing a tail grab first and then doing 2 backflips. You can get 2 backflips off of these 2 hills, and then immediately do one off here, and that's the split. Cancel, go back to chairlifts once more. Now you see that I have 500,000 points, so what we're going to do is back out to the main menu, play Dark Summit, continue game. Now we're going to go to the equipment hut for Naya. Outfits are not important, and they lose time, but it's X to equip item, so we're going to give her a funny outfit. Don't do that. It is nothing but a time waste. But if you go to the right here, you can see that we have boards, and we go down to the Slick 250, we press X to equip it, we press A to accept, Naya again, first cut. And this will be our last time going through this part of the world. So again, method grab, do a double tap. That's pretty tight. You can get a double tap on the rail into a special trick like a backflip or a is it called a heel kick? Yeah, high kick. Into a high kick if you're tight on it. Double tap. You can see that I'm also doing a grab in between the rails there to up the combo meter. That's pretty tight. You don't have to start doing that immediately, but obviously it helps. I think that's about 3,000 points to do that. So you go from 14,000 to 17,000 on that, and you go from a 6x to a 7x combo. But that's high level stuff. Go through this gate one last time, and it's going to ask us to do 4 different special tricks. So, as you can see, we don't have a lot of special tricks. The game skips, or the route skips a lot of unlocking them immediately. Iron Monkey you just never do, ever. It's way too slow. The points you get are just not really worth it. The inverted to 540 is one of the tricks that we do in this. It's AXA. High kick is the one you do all the time. ABA is kind of just been completely replaced by high kick in this part because high kick gives you more points. And then AYB and AYA. AYB is a fast trick, so is AYA. But Misty Flip gives you less points than backflip 180, so we pretty much never use it. We just use them for for satisfying the 4 different special tricks in this run specifically. And so this is probably the first really technical part of the run in terms of things that you just have to like you'll lose a lot of time if you do it. So we're gonna jump off this first ramp here and we're gonna do AYA into AYB immediately. And if you do it fast enough, you should be able to do it in one hop, and you'll have 2 of your special tricks down immediately. And then next off this ramp, we want to do AXB, and we don't have enough time to do another trick. And then off of any of these ramps, you can do an AXA. And that's the split, and that's first cut. So now Function Junction will be unlocked. And this split is called 8 Combo. And we do 2 missions in it. Thank you. So, first part of Function Junction is Terrain Park on the left side here. And there is a very important little dog friend that you can see in the top left corner. He has a bunch of different spawns based on how fast the game loads him in. There's early, there's late. Basically, it affects whether or not he bonks off of this rail here or not. If he spawns early, then he's gonna bonk off the rail and not really be a problem. If he spawns late, he has a chance to cross you up over here and run into you and just completely ruin your day. The dog will hit you, he will knock you down, and he will keep chasing you, so he will knock you down more times if you don't get away from him fast enough. Basically, we hate the dog. We do not like the dog, and he ruins runs. So his spawn right now is pretty early. So that means we should be fine. He's going to bonk off that rail and kind of just go harmlessly past us. And we're going to grind off these rails and get a big boy combo off of it. Jump off here, do a high kick into a flip, and that's a cool 38,000. Do another one here, high kick front flip, another 33,000. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is probably the best combo you can get off those rails, just spamming grabs on it. And we are to our first mission, which is Technical Wizardry. So yeah, this one's pretty basic. You just want to do 10 rail combos. There's a lot of rails in Terrain Park, so it's decently easy to get 10. There are plenty of backup strats if you mess it up, though. I've definitely had to make up some stuff on the fly in case of just missing a rail or something. But I pressed B. Oops. I skipped the mission. Don't press B, ever. Okay, well, maybe we'll get a chance to see another dog spawn here. So, yeah, yeah, he's super late, so we just have to prepare for that. He's just gonna run out in front of us, and you kind of have to slow down if he's late, which is unfortunate, or you have to kind of swerve around him. But still, 8x combo, you get 40,000 points there. This is where you get a lot. Like, honestly, you get about 250,000 points off these 3 rails alone. So getting these big combos is really, really important. 35,000 is about what you expect from there, and then again the 13x combo here is probably what you max out on. Grab the board again, turn it around. Alright, so we're going to accept Technical Wizardry this time. Very important to press the A button. So the easiest way to do this kind of combo is to just do a trick in the air and then tap it, and then you're done. Obviously, we want to get more points so you can do more tricks off of them. You just have to be careful not to wipe out, because obviously then the combo won't count. This rail coming up here is very annoying. I wonder. I wonder if I should do dolphin pauses instead of in-game pauses, just so I can show things off better in the menu, or without the menu in the way. That might be a little bit hard to do though. But basically, this rail, you have to get over and jump onto it and then grind onto the side. We used to run straight ahead at it, and there was a chance you would just slide onto the rail without having to jump. Excuse me, without having to jump. But it was very finicky, and if you wiped out, you would just completely lose your chance to grind on that rail. So now we kind of just come up the left side and jump over it, and then try and tap onto the rail about midway through. And then after that rail, if you miss it or hit it, you come over to this one, slow down a little bit, tap onto it, jump off, do another one, combo onto this if you feel like it. And that's 4 combos already. Come over to this rail, we get one more, and we're at 5. You'll notice that this specific mission gate is grayed out. That's because we're in the middle of a mission. You can't stack missions or anything. So we're going to come up to this rail, enter the ramp from a slight angle, get 6x, and now if you want to be, this is where a lot of the on the fly kind of routing comes in, because I have 6 and you need 10, and there are there's about 7 rails that I can trick off of, so I can skip a lot of these if I want to. If I needed more, then I could go to the left and jump off this rail or the one up on the hill, but I don't really need to right now. I can just skip them to save time and come down here to this collection of rails and just trick off these 8, 9, and 10. And that's the end, but we're not going to reset yet. We still have to do the 8x combo, so we're going to come over on this side to save a little bit of airtime. You want to slow down before you, not that much, obviously. You want to slow down before you go onto this ramp, because if you fly off it, it is at a very bad angle and you will wipe out. And then the next part is there are going to be 2 ski patrol people that are going to spawn as we're coming into this gate, and if you don't swerve out of your way to hit them, they will ruin your 8 combo. So what we're going to do is we are going to swerve over to the right here. We're going to press L to zoom the camera out, and then we're going to wait to see them spawn in, and then we need to either hit them or they can go past you if you're going slow enough.
Cover some serious turf in style. Pull off an 8 times combo just to prove you can.
Yeah. So it says just pull off an 8x combo. We're going to do that. 1, 2, 3. Jump over to this rail. 4, 5. I messed up. Lamau. This is a good annotated run. I'm good at my job. So yeah, 8x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do more at the end to get extra points. That's the 8x combo. That's back to chairlifts. Next up, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back through Terrain Park, but this time we're going to do the 6 rail combos mission. On top of another mission that is very fast. So, in terms of points, what I have is a bit more than what you usually would have at this point. We're looking for second board by around 3x, 4x, 5x. You want to get second or third board before ski jump rotation. That is kind of the cutoff of the split for the route that we have right now. So you're looking for 1,000,000 points in the next 2 splits, which, as you can see from this route and just how many rails and how many big combos you can get off of them, is very attainable. But the dog spawn is pretty late. We have to slow down to get around him. Combo off this. Get a nice 5, 6, 7, 8x combo, 40k points. Do a grab onto this rail. Tap it a few more times, do another high kick. 6x combo, 38k. Four, 5, 6. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do another flip grab, 13x. And we are going to do this mission, which is Combine and Conquer. So,
Time to up the ante. Prove your worth and you'll be worth more. perform 2 combos involving a special trick.
I keep thinking I have to explain the missions, and I realize that they just explained them in the game. So yeah, you're just performing 2 combos with a special trick. Obviously, we're going to do the same rail path that we used last time. Jump onto this rail. Uh, Usually you want to hit the rail first, because even if you do a special trick and it's completely finished before you are colliding with the rail, so you have time to grind onto it, sometimes your board will be left at a bad position to grind and you will just wipe out. So the safe method is you want to just do a regular trick or just do nothing, combo off the rail, and then do your special trick to satisfy the requirement. And you only have to do 2 of these, but we want to do them in this half because we want to hit that mission gate that was gray earlier. Ooh. Yeah, it's a little bit harder to do a second one on those rails. Usually I just skip them and go for these rails instead. But yeah, combos 2 of 2. You can see the mission gate lights up because now we're done, and we're going to do 6 rail combos.
You must be the chosen one. Certain installations are only accessible with some rail-to-rail mobility. Do 6 rail-to-rail combos to prove you'll be able to make the grade.
So yeah, we have to do 6 specific rail-to-rail combos, and that doesn't mean just tapping the rail again. You have to use different rails. So the route right now, hello Diana, welcome to the speedrun. Meow, yeah. Yeah, we're going fast. So the route that we do right now is we're going to... I pressed B. Sorry. I'm good at my job. We're just going to zoom past this. And as you'll see, this mission gate is gray because there's no more missions. If we fly through it, we can redo missions, but obviously that's something you never want to do. It's just not worth. Loses time, you know, getting any lift points for it. So, yeah, up here we're going to do this. We're going to combo off these 2 rails here. This is going to give us 1. And then up ahead, you're going to see this big rail complex. And what we used to do is just do individual tricks off of all of them. But recently, we discovered that you can chain rails together and it will still count. So if you jump from one rail to another, that gives you 1 rail combo. If you jump from one rail to another in the same combo, it'll give you 2, and so on and so forth. So we're actually able to do 5 rail combos off of these 7 rails if we connect them all together. And I call it something different every time. I call it the super duper ultra mega fuck you up rail combo. The game calls it the big ass rail combo. So you can call it that. But this is the fastest method. If you miss it, there are obviously the rails that you do the 8x combo of. You can go down there and finish your rail combo on that, but obviously it's a bit slower. It's actually quite a bit slower than hitting this. So we're going to jump onto this rail here, grind, hold to the left, jump off it, hold to the left, tap, and I messed it up. You can see it's very hard. Well, it's actually not that hard. It's a lot of just holding to the left and kind of buffering what angles you're holding on the rails to just make sure that you're going in a specific way. And this is going to be harder to do now that I don't have the speed of the gate, but we're going to do our combo off that, hit our 1, and then we're going to jump onto this rail, hold to the left, jump off, hold to the left again, You can see that I'm spinning the whole time. Tap, jump on this, hold. You can see that I'm spinning because I'm holding a direction on the rail, just to make the jump as easy as possible. And we're going to hit our 6, and that's the split. That might be something I have to break down in a little bit more detail, but unfortunately it's very hard to explain while I'm doing it. But after that, you go back to chairlifts, and we're going to go to terrain park one more time. Right now, I could have the third board, but for realism purposes, I'm just going to stay on second board because you will be doing this split the majority of the time on second board. Again, how am I going to commentate during the actual GDQ? What do you mean? I'm not going to go as in depth. This is I'm recording this to upload to my YouTube channel as like a tutorial for people that want to learn the game, and it's going to go on the speedrun.com page as well. Um, and also it's to help out my friends because I'm literally the only person who runs this, and I need a couch of people. So this is kind of like teaching my friends how the game works in a way. Um, so I'm gonna be talking a lot less, and they will be filling in the gaps a lot more, hopefully. Unless I'm a bad teacher and none of this makes sense. So in this third split, we kind of have nothing to do in this terrain park. Um, the last mission is very, very specific. It involves, well, I'll let our mysterious benefactor explain it specifically.
Perform a 3-time, 4-time, and 5-time combo in succession before the park exit to prove your ability to crack code.
Yeah, that fence is bad. So we are going to have to do a 3x into a 4x into a 5x combo. And so it's not necessarily in succession. You can do a 3x and then accidentally do a 6x and it won't reset or anything. You'll still have the point credited as a 3x combo, but you need to do a 3 and to a 4 into a 5. And you have a lot of rails, so you have a lot of time to get these together. But specifically, what I like to do is jump onto this rail, tap it, and then jump off and do another rotation to get our 3x. And then we're going to come up to this rail, and this rail is weird because you kind of immediately start on it, and your jumps are like, your rail taps almost involve you not leaving the ground at all. So you can just kind of spam Y on top of that rail in particular and get a 4x. Otherwise, tap, tap. Yeah, like you can just tap that and just mash it and just get a 4x combo and then jump off or slide off. This is technically the fastest route. 2, 3, 4. Change your angle a little bit so you don't do that. And then the fastest is to get the 5x up on this rail. So you tap it 3 times and then do a trick off it, and your secret combination is done. So obviously there's a lot of these rails. If you mess up one of them, then you can just go for a 3x or a 4x or a 5x on these rails, but you're going to lose time. One popular way to do a 5x is to just slide on that rail, and then you can hop on this board 3 times and then do a trick off of it. It's pretty tight, but it is like my go-to backup strat is to just grind once on that rail and then hop off this rail 3 times if I miss a 5x or something. And then if you mess that up still, you'll be losing time, but you can go down here and you have all of these rails to kind of do tricks off of. Yeah, you can see that ramp fucking sucks. That's why we slow down before we go over it. But yeah, there's so many rails down here. And the mission doesn't fail you until the very end. But if you're running correctly, then you should basically never even see this. Like this is when you know your run is dead, is when you're having to like do a 5x on this rail or something. Our next so now we have 1,000,000 points, so we're gonna go back to the equipment HUD again, come over here and equip the Dynamo 3000. This is the last board that we will really have in the run. The prototype is fastest. It gives you the most airtime. It's very helpful for the end of the game. It makes the last few splits a lot easier, but it is very expensive, and the amount of time you spend doing tricks, I feel, is ultimately not worth it. The run got a lot faster when I decided to just do third board. So now that we're done doing tricks, the run becomes a lot more simpler. We're just gonna keep holding forward for as long as humanly possible. We're not even gonna jump off of ramps because jumping off of ramps obviously gives you extra airtime. This is really where you start going the path of least resistance, the path with the least rails, the path with the least amount of airtime. Unfortunately, this jump up here is kind of unavoidable, so we're just gonna fall off of it. So this is a gate for a mission that doesn't give you any lift points. This is a mission where we talk to Hans and we mess with his girlfriend, and then his girlfriend chases us. Not only does it give you no lift points, it is very time consuming and it pushes you past the missions we want to do. So we entirely skip this gate. Jump over this. Uh, I didn't even jump over that rail, actually. I just pressed forward over it, and the board gave me enough airtime to go through it. So this gate up here is for a mission where you find the ski jump, which is where we're going. We're going to the ski jump. We're going to do 2 missions on the ski jump. That's why the splits are called ski jump rotation and ski jump flips. But the mission that is activated by this gate is actually completely skippable. It doesn't give you any lift points. It just tells you to go to the ski jump. And going out of the way to do it just wastes time. So we're just going to go straight past it. At this point, we don't need to get any more points, so we can take this right route with less rails, jump over this little river of piss, say no to crack, and come to the ski jump. And our first mission on the ski jump will be
Mount Garrick was going to be the site of a Winter Olympics until the military. Well, anyway, do a 1620 with a grab off the ski jump as your own opening ceremonies.
and one important thing about Dark Summit is that you can cancel cutscenes with start, and you can cancel it with any other button as well. But if you cancel a cutscene with like A or something, when you go back into the game, you will be jumping, which we don't want. We don't want you to be in the air. We don't want you to be doing anything because there's a chance that you can wipe out, and also you're just losing time by being in the air. So we cancel cutscenes with start. And another thing about Dark Summit is that the cutscene load times are arbitrary and basically RNG. So sometimes that cutscene will load as soon as you go through the gate, and sometimes it will load after you smack into the rail. There's nothing you can do about it. Video games. That might be an emulator thing. I don't know. I actually haven't run this game on console yet, um, but I don't think there's any major discrepancies. I'm pretty sure it emulates just fine. But anyway, so now we're on the ski jump, and we're going to do a 1620. And importantly, to save time, we're not going to jump off this ramp. We're just going to fall off of it and then immediately do our trick. If you have second board at this point, first of all, I'm sorry, because that means you're not on good pace. Uh, and second of all, you will have to do a jump, otherwise you do not have enough airtime to do it. But with our third board, we have the luxury of just falling off of this and saving a little bit of time by not jumping in the air. And we're going to do our 1620, and that's our challenge. Go back to chairlifts once more, and you will see pipeline is unlocked. We don't want to go to pipeline yet. We have enough points to advance the pipeline, but we will not have enough points to get to the end of the game unless we go back and do this next ski jump. So same thing as last time. We're going to go down the same path. No tricks, no nothing. Just holding forward. This is why I don't really like running any percent New Game Plus, because you just start off with the fastest board, and the entire game is just kind of holding forward. Except for the tricks you have to do as part of missions. To me, Dark Summit is all about like on-the-fly decision making with points versus speed, and tricks versus no tricks. And any percent New Game Plus kind of just completely takes that whole aspect of the game away. But unfortunately, even in the any percent run, as we optimize more and more and do more tricks and get better with worse and worse boards, the game does start to get a little bit kind of hold forward simulator. Jump over this gap again, go back to the ski jump. This one is going to just be simply doing a triple flip off the top. Even if you have second board, you have enough air time to just fall off the ramp and do your triple flip. Press A. You don't have to actually listen to these. You can just skip them, but I'm letting him talk because he's explaining it for me. So yeah, cutscene load not being good to us today, but press start to skip it. And doesn't matter which way you go with the flip, as long as you do 3 of them or more. You can do more, but obviously 3x is fine, and we don't really need to get points at this point, so we're just going to do 3x. And now we can go to pipeline. We are done with function junction. We are moving on to the second part, or the second bomb, because there's no bomb in function junction for some reason. They kind of just skip that whole part. So pipeline, we're gonna go on the right side every single time. You'll see these floating, the little spotlights. We're gonna initially take this right. This is just gonna give you 5,000 points. Not useful at this point. Our first mission is Half Pipe Hero.
I can't emphasize enough the importance of you learning to ride this half pipe. Pull off 10 tricks in the pipe to prove you can hack it.
So this is just gonna be you spamming really fast tricks. I do nose grabs, or crail grabs, or any grab that involves you holding forward, and then when you fall off this ramp, you have the opportunity to do another grab. So what I like to do is get up to 9 tricks here, and then save the airtime on doing a 10th trick by falling off the ramp and doing this. And that's 10 tricks.
Okay, so you can handle yourself in the man-made half pipe.
Grab this special trick. This is the second special trick that we collect in the run because it gives you a half pipe trick. It gives you rocket air, and we will need that in the next split. It's right there. It's not out of the way. It's easy to grab. So, and we need one anyway. So it works out perfectly. This is going to be the bomb mission.
Felix is a regular around this pipe. He's reportedly found a bomb in the area. Make sure you acquire it before you get back to the slopes.
So at this point, we're faster than Felix. We have way more speed. So we're just going to ignore him entirely. And you'll see the bomb coming up here on the left. You're going to want to jump onto this rail and grind through it. So just tap A. Get a better angle than I had. I hold the world record in this game. We're not going to be faster than Felix now. Oh no, we still are. Okay, not really. So yeah, if you have to reset this, it is kind of annoying because now I have to deal with Felix and his random pathing. He can just kind of run into you and ruin things. But now we're just going to jump onto this rail, grind up, grab the bomb, split, and back to chairlifts. Pipeline once more. We'll be here for one more split. We're going to go exactly the same route as last time. We're going to go back to the same gate, and we're going to hit the gate that we skipped with the bomb mission.
Time to work on some more technical skills in the pipe. Do both hand plants before the hanger.
So this involves something that is never done pretty much ever in the speedrun. It involves these things. Specifically half pipe tricks. You just tap B when you're on the lip of the half pipe while facing uphill or downhill. This is going to give you a front side, and then if you go to the back, then you'll basically be facing downhill, and you'll be able to do the backside, and that's it. Just one side B, other side B, you're done. You need to take it pretty slow because otherwise you will just fly past the half pipe lip and not do it like this. I just pressed B and nothing happened. But if you slow down and you hold B there, and you're done. So yeah, pretty easy. And next up is our half pipe specials mission, which is why we collected that special trick earlier. First off, you're going to want to slow down before you hit this gate.
Nothing shows the chief up better than some sassy tricks, especially when they're performed somewhere out of bounds. Like this pipe. Complete 6 special tricks just to rub it in.
Because if you go too high, you are going to hit these weird scaffolding things, and they will knock you to the ground and they will not count your trick. As you can see, repeat tricks count, so we're just going to spam the same trick that we got earlier, which is called Monkey Paw or something. I actually don't remember. Oh, Rocket Air. Never mind. I was thinking of Iron Monkey. So it's ABY. So you're just going to jump off of this, do a quick ABY, and do that 6 times. And it's really important to not go too fast because you really don't have the airtime to do 2 in 1 jump no matter how fast you go. And obviously if you go too high, you're going to hit the scaffolding or the roof, and you're just going to have wasted airtime if you go too fast as well. So this split is a lot about just like managing your speed versus your airtime kind of deal. But once you do 6, you're done. You can go back to pipeline, and now we're actually going to take a different path to finish off this split. You're still going to come over here to the right, but you can see that gate. We're going to go to that one. Go this way, hit up this gate, and we are going to be hitting some slow patrol people.
Have you met the slow patrol yet? Maybe it's time to get acquainted. Go give 3 of them a shot of snowboarding culture right off the...
So yeah, we are going to be running into these guys, and it's very important to either hit them from the side or go out in front of them and hit them with your back. Because if you bump into them from their back, you're gonna slow down, you're gonna wipe out, and you're just not gonna be able to catch up to them. So what we're gonna do here is there's going to be a gap that they start to form, this gap right here, and we want to get out and we want to hit this one guy. I'm gonna restart because I slowed down to try and show it off. What we want to do is we want to shoot into that gap, tap into the guy from the right, and then immediately swerve over and hit the other 2 guys. And this might not work because of the gate now. Yeah. Bip. Yeah, that's unfortunate that I can't really demo the proper strategy because of the gate speed. But basically, you're going to shoot that gap, avoid the barrel, hit the dude on the right side, and then go over and tap the other 2 guys as fast as you can. And obviously, there's a bunch of backup strats that you can do if you mess it up, and you just kind of have to chase after them at some point. But that will unlock Summit. And this is the big boy run. Here is one of the longest splits in the game. We have Bomb 3. And now at this point, we are looking for the path of least resistance. We are looking don't run into that guy because he apparently has this special aura where if you touch him, he just knocks you over no matter where he hits you at. So we don't want to fuck with that guy. But yeah, at this point, we're not jumping off of ramps anymore. We're just sliding off of them. And here is our mission, skiers only.
The chief still thinks he can keep snowboarders off the mountain. Time to send another message. Break 5 snowboarding signs.
Alright. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of no boarding signs, and we just need to run into them. So you can hit the legs and not the signs, and they won't count as broken. So that's something you need to keep in mind, especially if you're trying to do... Specifically, I was trying to hit a point on the ramp where I would slide off without going airborne to save time, but it's very tight, and sometimes if you just hit the arm, it won't count as a sign break. It's not too important. Ow, fuck. Yeah, my eye hurts. Ow. That's weird. Ugh. Ow. Anyway, um, shit. I just completely lost my train of thought. Um, there are plenty of signs to hit. So if you miss that one, it's not a huge deal. We come up here, we jump, hit this one, jump and hit this one. If you jump at a certain angle, you can kind of bounce off the sign that's holding it, and that's technically optimal, but it's pretty much RNG. Hit the leg on this one, hit the leg on this one. Sometimes it won't give it to you, but it gives it to you this time. Jump through this hole, and you're done. We come down here, we come down this ramp, and everywhere on this ramp is a spot where you're going to jump off, except if you go through these two holes on the side and come down this mountain. Otherwise, you're in the air for like a good 10 or 15. We probably would have just landed, and now we're way ahead. Go to the left of the taxi, because we're going to go over here and hit this mission next. Yep, so we're going to be jumping a helicopter. Come down this ramp. Again, you're just holding forward at this point. You're not jumping off ramps. You're going to want to come down off this ramp on specific on the right side because there is a patch of slow dirt right to the left that will catch you otherwise. Go past the danger sign, you can hit it too, but I think it slows you down a little bit. And then we're going to jump off this. It's very important to actually jump because otherwise the game won't give you the chopper stopper combo thing. And that's how it measures the mission. It's like how the goo gaps work from First Cut, where you have to actually jump over them for it to count. So be mindful of that. Jump over this gap. You have to jump to make it, so avoid all the slow snow. And we're going to get to bomb 3. And so again, we're faster than Sam, and we also don't like the path she uses, so we're going to go up here actually because it's faster. And we're going to do a very, very specific setup on this rail because this rail is a very, very angry rail. If it is notoriously easy to just fall off of it completely and just have to restart the challenge. So we're going to do a very specific setup. We're going to come over here, slow down, and we're going to try to grind on the left side, and then we're going to hold a manual grind backwards. So I was holding back and left, so I was, what do they call it in this game? Yeah, I was tweaking backwards, while being on as far to the left on the rail as you could possibly get. And you can see I was still almost falling off. It's really inconsistent to land on that rail majority of the time, but that is the safest setup I've found for it working. Is just I wish I could restart and do the challenge, but we already grabbed the bomb. But yeah, you wanna slow down as much as possible, align yourself on the left side, and then get on the rail with a grind, and then do a manual grind backwards. I keep calling it a manual grind like it's Tony Hawk. It's not a manual grind. It's a tweak. You tweak backwards. But anyway, we have bomb 3 done, so now we're moving on to bomb 4. We're going to go left on this route. To the big gun. Hello, Horny Angel 96. That's a great name. I'm doing okay. For this ramp, to avoid jumping off of it instead of going down, you want to hit this. You want to run on this like dark green snow, and just slide down like that. Otherwise, you'll jump off it, and that loses a little bit of time. Coming up here, we're gonna get our bomb mission.
Len has had his share of battles with the chief up here in the high alpine snow. I hear their last scuffle uncovered yet another bomb. Let Len show you the way.
Yeah, no, I thought you were a bot. I'm not gonna lie. I was ready to like ban. I was ready for something to be like, "Hello, welcome. Would you like to view my stream?" kind of deal. I was like, okay, but hello, real person. So yeah, we're gonna have this bomb mission. Importantly, you see lens spawns here, and there's also gonna be that dude, and that dude will hit you. He will knock you down no matter what. So you have to slow down a little bit, unfortunately, to get around him because otherwise you're gonna just wipe out on that dude. And then on this ramp, we're gonna go in this little corner here to slide down the side. Unfortunately, there's really no way I've found to escape the airtime in this tunnel. Again, we're faster than Len at this point, so we're just going to come over here and grab the bomb. Split. And now we're at the longest split in the game, I'm pretty sure. Chief Race. Horny Angel 96 does sound like a bot name. This is true. Yeah, so Chief Race is the longest and probably the most boring split in the game. There's really not much to it. You're kind of just holding forward. So yeah, there's this fence going up. We're going to accept this mission. And we're gonna jump like over here because it's the least amount of airtime. Really, again, it's a path of least resistance split. We want the least amount of airtime. We want to find angles off these ramps where we can just slide down them instead of jumping off. So yeah, on this ramp, you can just kind of come up the right side and slide down it. I love speedrunning. I love speedrunning, and I love that I'm going to GDQ now, which is still insane to think about. Yep, you want to just avoid debris and stuff because it will slow you down. Do the non-aggro snowboarders do anything? The skiers, they're just kind of obnoxious and annoying. If you run into them, then they will slow you down. But like they aren't gonna intentionally try to run into you most of the time. They're just kind of obstacles to avoid, or to run into them from the side and hit them to get them out of your way. Also, they call you names and yell at you, and they're really annoying. I think a lot of people like the speed game for a lot of games is almost completely different from the regular game. So a lot of people just wouldn't enjoy playing their game as a speed game, and I think it's entirely fair. Also, thank you for the follow, Horny Angel 96. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Twitch makes me do that. And yeah, path of least resistance. We're gonna go down the right here because we can just jump, or we can just kind of go off this ramp. Go to the left side here to avoid some slow snow, which is slow, or snow or dirt that slows you down. We're gonna go up the left side here. This is where we did bomb 3 earlier, so we're just gonna use this route again because it's faster. Fortunately, we don't have to go on that stupid rail again. Going through the forest here. At the end of this is one of the only like different things you would do from just holding forward and going as fast as possible. Because this is already kind of supposed to be a race. But there will be a really big ramp, and there's just a lot of airtime. I'd like it even more if it was just the dragon. Yeah, that dragon's pretty chunky. But instead of going up this big ramp and doing a bunch of airtime, we're just going to jump over here and take an intentional death. And warp across the ramp. It is slightly faster. And it saves us on airtime. Hello, Chief. You can bump into him to make him slow down, but it really doesn't matter. You're good. We're going to go along the right side here. And we're back in Function Junction. Woo! We are going to take a slightly different route than what we normally do, though. Like at this point, I'm not even pressing the A button, really. I'm just flying off of these ramps. Going for as little airtime as physically possible. We're going to go the same path to the ski jump. Except this time we're going to go past it and down the ski jump hill itself. Crash through this bear sign and go down this hill. Get some extra speed from this big speed. I really like this game. I think it's a very fun speed game. I played it as a lot as a kid. Slide down this hill to the left. We're going to want to go right through this sign and then go straight down here past this porta potty and lady. We're going to take the left path. And coming up here is really the only important part of Chief Race, which is barrel. So you're going to see this barrel. It's covered up by the O right now. But you're not supposed to hit debris, but you especially don't want to hit this barrel because no matter like how far ahead you are of the Chief, he catches up to you. And the only thing that can stop him from just kind of ruining your run sometimes is him running into this barrel, which he will always do. He will bonk into the barrel, and then you can go down here, wait for the cutscene, split, start, challenge success, back to chairlifts, and you're done. We're going back to Summit one last time for Avalanche, and this is probably the third or second most difficult part of the game, especially on third board. There are some extremely tight jumps that you have to do. Like an Angry Birds go-kart racer or something. That sounds goofy. So we're going to take the same path that we did. We're going back to the gate that we were at before the bomb. The old World War II artillery gun is for avalanche control. Go find it and use it, unofficially, to take out the security measures that guard the Chief's headquarters. Alright, so what you're supposed to do is follow these signs and you grind on these rails to go to the big gun, because it's really up high. We're going to skip that. We're going to go down this ramp, just like the path we took for the bomb. And instead of going on all these ramps that take time and have airtime, we're just going to go up the side of the ramp, the side of the mountain right here. You just kind of got to force your way up. And you're done. And up here is a cutscene that we skip with start to maintain our momentum without jumping in the air. Start. And here's probably one of the tightest jumps in the entire run. Um, so the ramp is kind of in a crescent shape, right? We want to jump off of this ramp and hit it on the rim. We want to hit it on the side, because if you hit it in the middle, your board is only going to be about halfway on it, and you'll fall off, and like your weight will just be too far on the back side of the board, and you'll just fall off and pretty much take an instant challenge reset because the avalanche will just come. We're running from an avalanche right now. But if you go onto the side of the rim, then more of your board will be on the ramp that you want it to be, and you'll have more. This is kind of difficult to explain. You'll have more of your board on the ramp, and it'll kind of pull you up and make it so that you can actually get through it. And again, it's very tight, but you can see, yeah, that is an extremely tight jump, very difficult. Probably one of the hardest parts of the run, and then the avalanche gets a little easier from there on out. You want to time your jump as late as possible off that ramp to get enough air. You don't jump off of this one, you can just kind of fall down. You absolutely do need to jump off of this one. This is another really tight one, but there's no special strat to it. You just jump as late as possible. You're going to stay away from these mines because they have a pretty large explosion radius and they will fuck you up. Doot, doot. Jump over this gap. John Duffy wears pink jammies. And then what we're going to do is we're going to jump off this ramp and try and go over to this hill on the right instead of these grinds. Then you can kind of just drive down Avalanche here until the split ends. And that's Avalanche. So there's one really tight jump, and that's about it. After Avalanche, we have all the lift points we need. We can go to Heli Drop, which is the last part of the game. So up here, we're gonna get this mission. It's called Do Not Enter. So normally, you're going to be like chased by these ski people. You're gonna be chased by these ski people, and you're gonna go to this like secret entrance, and you're gonna go to the moon and shit. This is any percent, so we skip all that, and we skip all of it by running into them immediately and failing the challenge. Because then it will just teleport you past all of that towards the end of the game. Very important not to hit these guys. They will slow you down. Yeah, there's snow cops pretty much. Yeah, there's the ski patrol. You're gonna come over to the right, jump off the left side of this ramp to try and go over this rail. It's just a little bit faster. Again, we're just trying to avoid as much airtime and jumping as possible here. Slide off this ramp on the right side. We're gonna, instead of going to the left, we want to go through this door here, and we're gonna get our last bomb mission. And it's really hard. It's very difficult. I failed it multiple times, and it's over. And here's the last mission of the game, storm the HQ. So with third board specifically, there are some strats that we need to take into account here. On this first part, what we're going to do is we're going to jump onto this rail, we're going to grind onto it, and then we're going to hop off and tap on the wall, tap Y on the wall here to kind of bounce off of it. That will give you more airtime because otherwise it's pretty much impossible to grind between those rails with third board. These are just tightly spaced jumps, and if you time them incorrectly like I did, you will fall off and die. So yeah, you just want to jump as close to the edge as possible, pretty much, and just keep holding jump to get as much airtime as possible. Again, we're holding to the left this whole time, as you can tell. Hold to the left, jump, press Y, tap off the board, hold Y again. I really wish I had an MP viewer right now, but unfortunately I don't. These are just good timed jumps. Good. Another good time jump. We're going to grind on this rail down here. Grind over to the left. And this is pretty much just jumping and grinding. You can pretty much let go of the control stick. Jump, grind, jump, grind. Or we're just grinding. I'm just holding down and letting go of Y. Y, Y. And after this part, there's a cut, or there's a checkpoint. So if you mess up, you have a checkpoint. Mess up like that. And now it's just going to be grinding again. Just a lot of pressing Y. You want to aim for this rail in specific, because then you can hold to the left off of this and go on the left path, which is slightly faster. Tap. You want to tap here, start holding to the left, jump off, grind onto this one, grind onto this one, grind onto this one, and you are done with Dark Summit. And it's only a 1:20:07. And my game just crashed as soon as I finished the run. That's so funny. That's perfect. There's no better way for this run to end than for the game to fucking crash at the end. Yeah, no, that's the end of the run. There's a cutscene afterwards, and then that's Dark Summit. Yeah, there will be more things to play now, question mark. This was just a stream to do an annotated run to put something on my YouTube and on the Dark Summit speedrunning page to introduce people to the game, because I'm running at GDQ. And I might do a better one of these, because this was pretty haphazard. I might actually go in and edit this a little bit. But that's pretty much it. That's the game.